And welcome back to another episode of Dan the Toy Man, and thank you for joining. Today we're opening up a box, which this isn't a Hot Toys box. I know that's a surprise. The figure though, inside is. This is Boba Fett from Boba Fett, played by Temuera Morrison, and I can't wait to pop it open. Let's check it out and pop the box. Boop! Just as a disclaimer, this isn't a product review of any sort. This is me just opening a box and sharing it with the lovely audience. That's you. Let's pop it open and check it out. And as we always say, let's cut away from ourselves. Now this looks like it was repacked by DHL. Sometimes you get a little afraid that you may have cut too deep. I hope this isn't one of those times. These make me look like a hitman. All right, let's have a look. Oh, okay, so what do we have here? This was wonderfully packed and shipped by the wonderful Bob. Thank you, Bob, my friend. I think you're responsible for some of this packing, so thank you. This is the first time we get to see Boba Fett in his weathered armor when he came out of the Sarlacc pit, and then when he successfully wore it as a reintroduction to his character in The Mandalorian. Look at that weathering and paint on that. Cool. This is gonna go at the top. Pew! This is a nice throwback to the toy that had a little missile launcher at the back. Fun fact, the original toy that had the missile launcher at the back that had a projectile, that couldn't actually be sold as a toy, mostly because it was a hazard to eyes. But we got to see how that worked in The Mandalorian, and Boba Fett fired it for the first time, which is awesome. These are, little jetpack parts. I'm a rocket man. Oh, right. This is like from the gauntlet. Fire. Wrist rockets? Oh, need rockets. Oh gosh. Whew, clip the antenna, look at that. That is super cool. Oh, look at the weathering on that. Actually, if you look inside there, there's a padded helmet. Little dent on the head, Cad Bane's. This is the base. Waist grabber? Yeah, this base actually looks very familiar. Hot Toys reuses their bases a lot. This looks a lot like the base that Luke had in the Force Awakens figure. It looks a lot like that base, but just a different repaint. Maybe I'm wrong? Light pole. This here is going to be the body. As soon as I unsealed the bag, I'm like, plastic smell. Look at the body here. Ooh. So this is the combination of Fett's armor, but also his Tusken wear as well. For those who haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, I'd recommend it. I really enjoyed it. There are parts that are... and there are moments which you kind of hope were a little bit better, but there are also many moments where you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. The big thing to note is that Temuera Morrison did a really, really good job as Fett. I think he embodied the character really well. I think it's going to be a little bit hard because there are people who are going to have stories that are 40 years old in their heads, or might compare it to the extended universe. There's a lot of different ways they could have gone around it. Whether they executed that, really, really well, it's a little bit different, but that doesn't take away from the acting and the type of love and passion that they put into it. So, I've never had a Boba Fett figure up to this point. I always thought he was cool, but the way Temuera Morrison acted, the way he brought Fett to life, the way that they had ties to the Maori culture, as well as Tuskens and everything else, that was a big sell for me. Also, he's Aquaman's dad. Ooh. Awesome. It's just one of those things where I'm just looking at all that wonderful weathering. I think that's where this comes in. So I bought this loose. The guy who sold this to me bought the 2-pack, which had the maskless Boba Fett in there with the Tusken outfit, but he was buying a single version of this figure anyway, so I managed to pick it up. Thinking about it now after watching the series, it would have been nice to get the maskless version as well, but I'm pretty much going to have him posed like this right next to Mando anyway, so it works out well for me. How do we... Oh, right, it's magnetic. Yeah, wow. So do I find him cool? I think I'd really like to get his gaffy stick at some point, because that was a big part of his character after the Tuskens. I'm curious if his little antenna comes down. Okay, I just think that's so cool. Pew! I don't think I'll have him flying. I think I'll just have him posed, you know, kind of looking badass as he is. Will I collect other Boba Fett figures? I don't know. I mean, this series I enjoyed, but nothing quite beats the nostalgia of seeing Boba Fett come out of the Sarlacc pit, wear his armor for the very first time, and kick a lot of Stormtrooper butt. I think his mindset had changed by the time he was in Book of Boba Fett, because he was trying to rule with respect. And this is a very good thing that he learned from the Tuskens. But there's a certain ruthlessness and bounty hunter-esque prowess that he had when he made his first reappearance that we didn't quite get to see. In Book of Boba Fett, you got to see him be a thinker and be more of a daimyo, or like the crime boss. But in this particular case, in this episode when he reappeared, he just went bam, 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 and that was super cool. It's funny because you saw him kick a lot of Stormtrooper butt. In Book of Boba Fett, he did struggle, or they were going to throw in the towel against a bunch of unnamed and, you know, not particularly special, but a bunch of numbered pikes. And that was a bit strange. Just going to be like, yep, all right, this is our last stand. You're wearing armor, dude. You're Boba Fett. Like, you've got a jetpack, you know, aerial fighting. Really good idea. They still won. But I mean, relying on the free folk to turn up like 10 people. I mean, it evens the numbers. At the same time, though, you're Boba Fett and you've got the Mandalorian with you. I didn't really see why you really needed more than that. But that being said, it was really cool to see Mandalorian and Boba Fett fight together. That being said, I really enjoy the figure. I think it really gives so much wonderful character and it's got a lot of presence. Let's jump into some photos and check it out. But until next time, collectors look after collectors. We'll see you in the next one.